Oh, hi guys, welcome to Bunny Design. I think because it's white, it doesn't like it. Just pull up the camera. I hope everybody's well. This is a live stream. Might be a bit of a shorter stream today. Just change that, and he doesn't like me. Want me to change that? So there you go. So I've been promising to be brave enough to do this page, which is the butterfly page. But I just thought I'd do a really quick studio change. So I've been trying to move things around. I've not been very well. And I've got a funny feeling that, oopsie, unfortunately you have to do this while you're live. I've got a funny feeling it goes to a different one. So I've got a couple of things. The studio's changed around quite a bit, and also I've rearranged an art bag. Now this bag I bought quite a few years ago. I think I either bought it at a charity shop, and I just thought I'd show that I've been looking at art bags, and I kept thinking, oh yes, I'd love one of those. I need one of those. I have to have one of those. And then I'd forgotten that I'd got this really nice old battered, I think it's a man's bag. There's a name on the, I think there's a name on it somewhere. Zara Man. I think I paid about £5 for it. And I haven't really used it because it's always been really big. But of course, now I'm in a wheelchair, I can put heavy things around and carry things around. So I very quickly just put things in it to show how my art's changed and what I'm doing now. So it's always a good idea to get either an old file box or the old-fashioned trolley. Businessman's little, because they've got lots of little compartments and they're on wheels, or you can get something like this rather than buy a particular art bag, because I think people put like, oh, it's an art bag, let's bump the price up. So if you hunt around, the other bag I've got, which I've actually used a couple of times, and it was for a baby, it's a baby changing bag, and actually I'm using it. It was the last bag I did, and I'm actually now going to use it for my granddaughter, who's was due 2 days ago, and she's not here yet, so the bun in the oven isn't ready yet. It's not quite baked, and it's my mum-in-law's birthday on Friday, and she's 94, I think. So she's we might have a double birthday. Oh, hi Pamela, welcome to Bunny Designs. Sorry, I'm a bit late. So I've had a bit of a change around, and it's kind of upset the arthritis. So excuse me.
I'm just taking some.
Okay, darling. So I thought I'd go quickly. Now I do have this water bag. So what I would probably have is my Diddy handbag. And my aunt gave me this a long time ago because the catch was broken. And it was a lovely size. I mean, you could just use that as a pencil case with a little sketchbook. So I put this hook on it. Now I have a large bunch of keys for two reasons. One is I never leave home without it, because if my handbag doesn't weigh a ton, it's fine. I've got my dad's little knife that he had during the war. I used to do archery. It's probably why the right shoulder's not well. My little St. Christopher, which is dropped to bits. I've got the Irish guide dogs, which when we go to Ireland, it's a little, and it's actually the best. Oh, she says lost it. It's actually the best coin trolley one I have is that one. It's brilliant. Never lose it. There's the disabled loo key, caravan key, my car key, which I don't use very often. My husband bought me a car a couple of years ago, and I can't use it very often. there's the boat keys on here, and I've got spare house keys because our house keys go missing like nobody's business. I have a little butterfly on here. I also have pliers and tweezers, and there's all sorts on this little gadget. I did take this off until recently. There is a little torch. I bought that because it looked like Alfie, and I did take all these off because it was really heavy, but now I don't carry my handbag around. A bottle opener, little pair of scissors, and I have this because it's for Mother's Day, but I want to remember my mum every day. So of course, as soon as I see my keys, I remember mum, who's been dead 40. How old am I? I'm 47 in September. So I'm not. Oh, I wish I was. I'm 57 in September. And so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. She's been dead 44 years. So I like to think that she's about. And there was something else on here as well, but I forgot what it is now. I forgot what it is, but never mind. Anyway, so I do have that hanging on the outside. So I've got money, glasses, phone, train pass, because hubby used to work on the railways, and I've got an inhaler in here. So this is kind of my handbag, and I'm quite pleased I can get everything in this little one, except for the car keys. So I have that. So my idea was, then I have the water bottle in here, and I've only done this about 10 minutes ago just to see how it was going, because I ended up taking 3 bags around with me, and I want to get rid of this bag, which is makeup and permanent and all sorts of other things. So I thought I'd do the art bag, and then I can just pick up one bag and just put a few things in here. The iPad will go in here as well. So I've left that space for pills, phone, if I want to just take this, but I doubt it. I think I'll take the little one. I've got some little eye makeup pads, but they're very good for the Derwent water brush, and it's a small pack, so I never care what kind of damp pad it is. I put my pens, my drawing pens. I bought some of these Derwent pencil holders for when the pencils get too sharp, too thin. A lot of drawing pens and my Derwent #1 brush in there, and I thought I'd use that as a pencil case. Actually, it's the right size. And then in the bottom here, I've got clips, erasers, spare erasers, and the fancy magic tape for taking off the pencil, some clips, and I thought that was kind of quite a good idea. In this side, I've managed to put, these were all in this big pencil case that I was carrying around, and I love this because it's clear, but it was just getting messy and bulky, and I wanted to kind of find things where they are. So here I've got the rotary ink pen, the pencil, there's the 4mm and the little tiny mechanical pencils, refills, because I have to have refills with me. I'm just, you know, have to have. And then in this pocket, what did I put in here? Oh, this one I have a tin for the pencil sharpenings and the pencil sharpener. And I think if I only had to have one thing, that would be it, that pencil sharpener. There's no other things on the side here, but inside I've got my drawing board, and I took this with me. I did actually take this with me last on Tuesday to do art in the Abbey, and I've started sketching the cross in the St Nicholas Centre, which is the tiny, it was one of the original parts of the Abbey, and they have a cross, the little altar, but the real dark stone looks really, really nice. I've done a couple of rough paintings of this. Did a very rough watercolor, I think. Yeah, did a rough watercolor, and it was very rough, but I really love the fact that there's the really old crumbling damp walls, and this beautiful shiny metal cross, which is soft and shiny and smooth, and this is all rough. So I did spend a couple of hours, and I was measuring everything, and I used one of these tools, and I can't remember what it's called, so sorry guys, but in this side pocket here Now this is an old one, but Derwent actually make one of these in wood, and I don't have one handy. I bought one each for the girls, and it does two things. You can use the end for measuring. So if you were drawing something and you wanted to measure, you could then put it to your board and you've got the right measurement. Or you can enlarge something. So if you're working from scale, you can move these across. Now, I'm not quite clever enough to work it out, but you can move this across, and then I've got it in the middle at the minute. So if this is the actual size you're measuring, this can be made bigger if I do this. I just say I don't normally use it for that, but you unscrew it and move it down. Now this was quite expensive, and you can actually put it on the exact lines and it will make it bigger or smaller. So if you see that one is smaller, so if I'm doing a church, if I'm doing a landscape and I'm doing a church spire, I can measure that, and then when I go to my page, it's bigger. So it's for measuring and for enlarging, and it does a million other things as well. So this one is quite an old one, and I don't think this case is the real one really, but it's fine. It sits in there, and I use that for measuring because I can't use, when you're measuring, you have to have your elbow straight and a pencil, but I don't seem to do very well with that with my thumbs. So I do use the two tips. So I'll measure things like this. I'll measure, and then I'll put it to the canvas, and then I'll measure the length of something and put that to the canvas as well. So it's quite handy. But they sell them in Derwent, on the Derwent website. They sell them, and they are for measuring. I think I put that in there. Hello, Alfie. Is that the Alfie? Hello, darling. Alfie's come to join me. So that goes in the side pocket. So I'm a bit precious about that. I think I paid £80 for that, but they are very expensive. I then have my pastel mat, which I've been, I redrew Alfie on the pastel mat and found that I liked them better because the original one I did was quite, again, it was a rough, and I'd got some different pencils. So when you do a different pencil and then you put those over the top, they didn't work. And that's why I wanted the full set, because it means that I have these warmer colors. And Derwent have brought out the others, and I've just missed them, so I wish I could have the others. But there's just some warmer colors in the other set. But they're coming out in September, which is my birthday, so I'm sure the Derwent Gremlin will get me. So I've done a couple of sketches of the Abbey. This is the different coloured ones, this one, and I think I've bought a white one as well. But I picked up this class art and I brought the wrong one. I've already got the grey one and I wanted the brown one, and I picked up the wrong one. So I don't think I've done anything in here. I think I have. Oh, that wants to go. Oh, I think I've put it on here because it was spare. I decided to use that. Oh, I've done something, but that's different pastels, is that? I don't know which pastels that is. I've not done that with my new ones. I've done a couple of sketches. I think it's going to be different. So I'm learning to use the pastel mat, which has got quite a good tooth. And then, of course, in here we have the pencil. Now, I keep swapping and changing, but what I did is I went through the 100 set. There's a guide for these, and there's 100 in the set. And I went through the colours and I left gaps so that the different colours, and they get quite exciting colours. There's an autumn brown and a raisin, and I thought they'd be perfect for Alfie, really ginger colour. And there's a taupe colour, which again, he's got quite a grey moustache and for noses, but unfortunately I missed out. I missed that one, so but never mind. I shall I think they're bringing them out a bit later. But it would have been nice to do Alfie again in a different pose when he was a young boy. So I've got these, and these are from the BTSKY. I think the 260 and a 216, and I think the other one is a 160. And because they come out, and that's why I bought the actual pink bag. There is a couple of videos on that. I just like the fact that you can put them in and out easily. You can get them out easy, and you can put them in easy, and everything's got to be easy for me. But when you turn them round, you can read the names. They don't turn round on their own. So it doesn't matter what I do with this, I can always read them. And so, and I've got them in color order, as I say, for the 100. So basically I've got some browns on that side and some on that side, so that's not perfect, but I'm sure I'll be fine. And I have tried, I can get the pastel mat board and a few tools in the pink bag to go with this. It's just this, I want the drawing board with me, and I can't get the drawing board in, so that's why I do that. And I don't use these pencils for colouring. They are for my artwork rather than for colouring, because I'm a bit of a tight Yorkshire lass. So I am going out. I'm not going out today, so I don't need to put those away. So I think that's everything. But I just thought that would be quite good. Now, I'm having to change things around a little bit because I'm getting a lot worse than I was. That's really bad English, but right, let me just pop that behind. I don't like it on the floor. So I've had a bit of a tidy round. Now Jessie sits under here, but I've put some things in the way at the minute. I've put my artboard upright, and I better just take that off. So everything's a bit messy at the minute. Oh, really quickly, what I was going to say is I need to go through. I take about, I think there's about 30 supplements here. So I still got the blood pressure pills and the asthma pills and the painkillers and all the others as well. But these are what I take. And if I remember to take them every day, 3 times a day, the arthritis isn't as bad. So I'm going to go through on Bunny's Disabled Designs all about the pills I take. And having said that, I've put 2 of those. Actually, I don't want 2 of those. I was rushing this morning. So there's 2 cherry pills, 2 apple cider, a celery, and there's a cranberry. There's a garlic in there. There's 2 vitamin C, and there's an evening primrose and a cod liver oil. So excuse me while I just gulp. So I find that if I do that, so if anybody's interested in that, I'll do a little video on what that, but everybody's different. I have another friend, it doesn't work for her, and she can't do the apple cider, even though her ankles are swollen. And my ankle at the minute is playing up. It's not being very good at the minute. It likes to play up. So at the minute, it's quite bad. It's my ankle. It's all squishy. So it's not doing very well at the moment. Sorry about the left. Oh, hi, Melody. Welcome to Bunny's Design. So let's just go through my art bag with my gorgeous pencils. I do have another bag there with the iPad in. So if I just, what I do, I open drawers so my handbags don't go on the floor. So I've put my brown drawers, which I love. They're totally messy. When we move stuff around, I just threw everything in. So they're both here. And the reason I did that is because I put the desk tilted upright. I don't know if I just do this. It's very messy. I'll probably turn it around again. So what I've done here is I've put some canvases behind. I've got the laptop, and I've brought my trays, plastic trays, so I can put my pencils in here, I think. I think I'm going to be working a bit more in pencil. So I've got one canvas and I've just draped, it's not quite as warm today, so I've draped that I put on the top. And then at the back, I've put the plastic drawers at the back. And I've put I've got more space here behind, because I put, although it's all kind of got to be sorted, I've got more space, and the printer is on the back. The radio's at the back out the way. And then I've been using my machine last night for the first time to enlarge. It's very old. The glass cabinets are not sorted. And I've taken all this down here, so I've got this space to build up shelves. And then I've got pencils. Oopsie. Sorry, just have to turn that around because I'm twiddling the wire. So it's a bit messy at the minute, but I'm hoping to get where I can have pencils and things that I use all the time near me. And the nicest thing is, got my pastels. So I've got my pastels right next to me, and the top one's got oils in. Sorry, I just had a banana. Hubby isn't taking it. And they're the oil ones. So I'm so pleased I've got this really next to me. And then because I've put these here, oops, it's not turned on. Is that better? Because I've put the top, I can kind of have a table here, because I've got a problem when I'm oil painting, and I've realized what it is. I can't hold my arm up. So again, another one of the disabled bunny designs is through that I had some crutches made for me as an armrest, and I've also got this armrest. So I'm going to build something here so it will hold my arm and I can oil paint, because I've brought my easel here. I brought my easel here in front of the, I'm going to take that off because it's going to get on my nose. Yes, Melody, yes, everything's easier for me. So I've got my easel here so I can have, and I'm going to build at this side here. The other reason for this is I can turn this round slightly, and here I can have a box for doing still life. So I've got the Victorian books that I want to paint again. I haven't got, oh, hubby found one. Now this was the practice one, and I've got about 6 behind there. So the practice one is of books. So I've got all these old Victorian books, so I shall be piling them up, putting some light on them, and doing some more canvas work. And I might even try doing it in pencil. I thought I might try doing it in pencil. I've got to be a bit careful with pencils because my hands are so bad the following day. Oopsie, I pressed there. So we've just thrown these here. So there's that's empty, I think. There's pencils in here, the ink tents, and then they want to go in these. These are the BTSKY. That one's empty because there's the ink tents there. As I say, we were just moving things, and I knew these needed to be kind of around here somewhere. I have a big bag to go through there, and there's a footrest, so that's quite handy for me, because when I'm streaming sometimes I get quite bad. I watched Jenny Belly, yes, a long time ago, and she said to do an inspirational box, and that's a picture of my mum and dad. That's a picture of my daddy during the war, and that is my mum when she had pneumonia. She was about 8 years old, and that's my mum and my nana. I think that's Scarborough. It looks about the 40s. That, don't think it's the 50s. I think it's the 40s. So I have I don't know, must have picked up this CD one, put that in there. Oh, 1954, beg your pardon, July 1954. That's the fashion Scarborough. Look at the handbags, they're back in now, the big handbags. So Jenny Belly, and this is another old railway one. I think this is one of them I've got from when my dad was in the war. And it's the timetable. So, and you know, I haven't been in this since I did this. And what Jenny Belly said was, you need a bag of inspiration, inspirational box. There's another one. Bears threatens monthly diary. And it's got train, I think it's got train times in it. Yes, it's Liverpool, Manchester. What's the date on this one? I have a lot of things of my dad's, an awful lot of things. Well, that says 1923. Oh my goodness, it's not when he was at college. It can't be my dad's because he was born in 22. This says it's from 1922. Is that one? Oh wow, it's nearly 100 years old. So I haven't been in here. Oh my goodness, that's my dad's. Oh, Alfie, there's the Elfmaster. I haven't been in here since I actually did it, and it got buried. And then I said to him, I'm going to go look in here again. So if you, I don't know, I haven't heard from Jenny Belly for a long time because I've been poorly. Luggage labels. Don't think I've even opened that. You were supposed to get a little box to. Oh, look what I found! All the butterflies. Goodness me, look! Wow. So it's just a plastic box, and she said you need to have an inspirational box, and videos on her inspirational box. Oh, and I bought all these cigarette cards because she was saying they're quite. I think she drew that one, and she drew that one, if I remember rightly. But it is maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's a long time ago. So that's quite handy. And this little box has in fact, actually, it looks like I've used it. I used this when I did my degree. Because it's got oil paint. I used it as a lid, and this I put my oil paints in, and you lift the tray up. Oh, for goodness sake, I don't know what's in the bottom of here. Oh my goodness. This is the book that my Auntie Lizzie had. They're all from the. Oh my goodness, I don't know what that is. Please do not bend. No, there's nothing in it. Oh, these are the love letters my daddy wrote my mummy, my darling wife, Saturday the 6th and the 5th, 1944. He wrote, he was in India. And then my mum has some, she bought me a typewriter, which I've still got. And it used to miss the old-fashioned clippy typewriters, not the big flippy ones, but the ones in the 70s. And she wrote stories, and she wrote one called I Hate Yanks. And I was going to change it, publish it and change it to stockings and chocolates and stockings, chocolate and silk stockings. I was going to change the title. And I think it was because there is a photograph of an American airman in her photographs, which nobody ever spoke of. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. But of course, my mum was in Church Fenton, which was the RAF. So I have all sorts in the box here. And then I started to tea stain and photograph things. So I've got a lot of, and I made books with all my daddy was a beautiful writer. So these are the pages for my books. But I also kept, I remember this is what I used for my water-based oils. And I used the lid. I don't know if you can get this particular box anymore. But I thought I would use that to keep little tiny bits in it. I can't get the lid on it now because I've obviously done something to it. It's a beautiful, I haven't read the story, but I think it's a bit of a romance. And my grandfather had a farm, and they had prisoners of war that used to help on the farm. And there's a story about one of those gentlemen. So there's lots and lots of history in there. But I love the fact that, you know, if you fell out with somebody and he kind of dumped you or went back to his wife in America, you'd write that. So I thought, well, I can't really use that. I can't use that title, but it's about that. I remember something reading that there's. She also wrote a couple of murders as well, a couple of murder stories. So probably that's why I want to start writing murder stories. So I thought it was mentioned about chocolates and silk stockings because that's what the Americans brought over, and of course the girls in England had never seen stockings. So it's very weird. It's very weird, and every time I look at it, I think I must change that title. I found it the other day as well. So I've got that box under there, which obviously I need to go through. This is an old file. Again, if I see anything at car boots, I used to pick them up. I'm not sure how we open that. And I thought that would be good to put photographs in, not photographs, work in. It's a clip, actually. Again, these are good for art. They're obviously what a businessman had. It's got pockets in at this size so that we can repurpose lots and lots of what I used to call the 80s yuppies executive. I think I've got one with a handle on it as well. So because I found all these things, I've kind of just plonked them there. This is the tray my daughter, I bought it from a car boot for £1 or something, and I love it because if you're on a cushion tray, you've got to have a cushion tray because this is a bit uncomfortable, but on a cushion tray it raises you up a bit. This is a 4, so you can get the sheet, just pick up something, it fits in. So that's, I think that's about A4 size. So that fits in quite nicely, and you can have a little water pot, or you could put water in there if you wanted. I usually put pencils, and I use this when I'm cutting because a cutting mat will sit in here, a small cutting mat, which I should have. I think I've just bobbed it somewhere. So you could use it for a craft, for cutting as well, especially if you're cutting small things up. It's quite nice for small things, and then things don't roll off. I used to have my eraser and a pencil sharpener, the pencils, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that sits in there. Oh, I thought I had that sat in there, but so she was going to throw that away. I went, oh no, you're not. I'll have that. But she used it an awful lot, and she made. Again, I've just thrown things under here. I bought that for some reason and not used it. So I have a bag of other things, and rulers and things. I have a lot of rulers, so they need to go. So I've got, and Betsy and Jessie. Now Jessie's upstairs at the bed at the minute, so I don't have anything on the floor at the minute, so that's quite nice. Oh, hi Kenny, welcome to Bunny Designs. Yes, Pamela, lots and lots. Oh, down here as well. I've got some metal drawers. Now, I used to make cards, so there's all card making things in here, and I've got the rag for the oils sitting on one of here, so I'm nearly almost there. So I've got all those drawers. They're very old, those. I could do with another set actually. And then just to the side, I've managed to fit on top of that all the canvases. I've got quite a few little canvases behind there, so they're handy. I had the radio there, but it didn't like it. So this side is all pens, and then I've got ink changes there, and that's just a bag with not very much on it at the minute and the wrong date. I think I may have to rearrange this side, but it's nearly there. It's nearly there, and I do have the canvas. Now we have quite a bright day today, and it was so warm in here that I just had to pin that across. But I wanted to keep the, says she, I wanted to keep the window ledge clear, and I wanted my brushes, because of course I haven't done a lot of artwork, so my brushes have been, now this really, now hubby's just put that on there. So this has got all my brushes, well not all of them, but some of them. Most of these are old, because I say to the girls, they can come in here and they can take what they want. They're only cheapy ones. My other ones are well hidden. These are the fine brushes. Again, most of these I could use for oils. The other ones are hidden. I do have this little thing, and I'm going to start using it more. Although it's lost a wheel. I'll take the wheel off. I think I'll take the wheel off. It's a little bin, but I'm going to use it for pencil sharpeners. It's quite handy for pencils. I think it was £1 from the pound shop. I do have a quite handy as well, so that's quite good. And it does get quite warm in here, so this is a pile of things to go through. And then we've got the fan and some more drawers, and I've got the big painting at the end. Now I do have, and I'm probably going to have to do a different video, just around the corner is my enlarger, and it's quite an old one, and it took me a long time to work it out yesterday, because you have two winders on it. One winds up and down to make it bigger and smaller, and the other one winds it into focus, and of course I got it completely out of focus. I'm hoping to have some kind of hanging space for little bits, but I'm going to put most of the craft stuff and most of the card making stuff and that in the caravan, and the sewing things. So that means that I can go in there and sew or make cards, but this is the art studio. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And then if I just put that there and wind it around, oopsie. So then we've got the glass cabinet, and I have the desk. So these are really big drawers. And the reason is they're quite, so they need sorting, because again everything was thrown in, but I can keep my watercolor things in here. I have recently bought this set of graphite, because it's water based. I thought I'm going to have a play with that as well. So they're very heavy, these drawers, but I'm hoping that all the watercolors and the water based things are going to be safe in there, because that's going to keep it cool. And then of course in the middle underneath I've got a bin, so I can quite handily, always need a handy bin. And we have the elf master. Hey Alfie, hello darling, boo boo, Alfie. Oh, and I think that's Jessie. We've got everybody today. Oh, that's Bungle. So hubby's made me a cup of tea. Has anybody got any questions? He's ignoring me. So Jessie was getting a little bit thin. Oops. So we thought we better bring her in here. Now, I've got a bit of a problem because that doesn't work there. So I'm going to have to be there. I'm going to pop that back there and hope it doesn't open. I don't think it will. And then I shall put that one there. So I've still got the sorting bit to do. But I think I'm almost made it with that. Now the problem I have here now is I can't get to where I want to be, because that's in the way. So I could move that up there. So if I put that, it's the angle that I think that's wrong, isn't it? Put that. Bear with me a second, guys. I set it up to do oil painting because my daughter wants to learn oil painting. I haven't managed to make my watercolors, so I'm going to have to stop saying I've done something until I actually do it. So I should be able to do that. Again, you've got to think, you've got to be comfortable, and that is a little bit low. I've got to be careful with that clock. So it's a bit dusty. Just put that down there for a second. Oh, I won't move up yet. No. So you normally get hubby to do that. So if I put that there, you can lean on that. That's comfortable. And then I do have a water. I have a water pot there. And put that on there. Now again, you've got to be comfortable and you've got to have everything easy to get to, because if you don't, it's so hard to do anything. And it does take me a while to get organized, but I promise to do this. So if we can zoom in, I can't get the camera any lower, but I can actually move it. So I'll just fix that. There we are. See if we can move that in a bit. And take it. Oops, this is the wrong way. I shall do it. Sorry about the shadow, guys. I've got a shadow. If I do that, I can't see chat particularly well. Just see if we can put that out the way. There we go. So that's not too bad for me. And hubby comes the last one, my cushion tray, and it won't be hurting me then, and it would be there. And that might be better if it was there. So, the Derwentgraphy pens. I have an awful feeling I put them away. Move that down there. So now I've got everything out. I think that here, oops, I just moved the water. That's the dangerous thing. So it's Yorkshire Day today, so happy Yorkshire Day, everybody. Now then, let me think. I think, oops. Oh dear, avalanche. Sorry, guys. I did have everything set up and then I rearranged it, because when anybody says they'll give me a hand, I have to grab that hand. So hubby's got a model show this weekend, so I might be able to stream this weekend. I should be able to stream, because found some lovely sketchbooks as well, and I've got back into sketching, which is another big thing for me, because I went through a side of not wanting to do anything at all. I don't know why that's wet. That's not good. So I'll get these out, because I do have on the back of this huge white Draftsman's, there's a pole at the back, obviously, that is for stability, because it's solid metal, is this. And it's, see, there's nothing in this one, because I've got them out. So again, being naughty, got them out. Let's see if I can just use that like that. And again, if I put them in another way, I don't want them like that, because oops, knew you would do that. I don't want you to fall down there, because that would drive me insane. Oh, damaged that picture. It's a good job it's not important. Could I have a coffee, darling, please? Thank you. Right. So there is a pole, so I can hang these underneath on butcher's hooks, which I have quite a few of. So they'll go under the back there. So I can actually do that. So I always forget. I think I'm going to have to name them. I think this is the pastels. So I keep my pastels in this one. So these are quite good. Now, they were about £17, but they've gone up now. So I keep all my pastels in that one. And this is the slightly smaller one that doesn't have two pockets. back I keep all my blending tools, so everything's together. So that's actually quite handy. So that means this one has got the water-based products in. So I've got my, and this is the one I think I'm still wrong. So this is the BT, oh, this is the same one. This is the smaller one. And I usually have my water brushes in this one. So I've got some Swiss Caran d'Ache water-based pencils and the Prismacolor watercolor Prismacolor. And it took me quite a while. This is my original vintage set from 30 odd years ago. And I spent a long time putting them in color order. So they start with the yellows and the pinks, and then we've got the reds and the purples, and then we've got the blues, and then we've got greens, and then we've got browns, and then we've got blacks and greys. And then I have my Derwent sketching medium, so the Graphitone dark wash, light wash, and medium wash. I've got a Derwent 2B wash as well, and I've got the Derwent sketching pencils, light, medium, and dark. So it's HB, 4B, and 8B. So they're in this set as well. So I can do a black and white sketch if I want. Oh, Melody, thank you. I'll tell him when he comes back. So I still haven't found. Let's see, I haven't found the Graphitint. I did put them handy. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have a real problem now if I don't zip them up. The only thing I didn't like about them was zipping them up. So I put a poppy on because I thought I wanted to think of everybody every day, not just on Poppy Day. Oh dear goodness. Right, so in theory then, I have my my ink tents which go in the one that's on the floor. So somewhere are the Graphitint pencils. This is the problem when you move things around. They are so handy, I can't find them. Sorry guys, I can't find them. It's going to be one of those days again. Oh, I just screwed it up. I wonder what I did with them. They were out for days waiting to do them. Oh, sorry guys, I just don't know what. They've obviously been bobbed somewhere safe, and it's so safe I can't do it. And where are the posters? Oh, they're not far away, so I could ask hubby to look. So dear Melody sent me these beautiful poster size Animorphia and Imagimorphia. Oh yes, sorry Melody, I'll take it off. Yeah, I did go in there to do that at the same time and then I forgot. Thank you. It drives everybody crackers. I'm at a bit of a bewilder where I put these pencils. But I do have my watercolor set handy, so I may make that as a video rather than a live stream. I'm not brave enough to do the cockerels either. The other thought I had is to try to put a background in here. So there's the monkey page, chipmunks. And again, I was going to try and incorporate some of those trees with these trees because they look the same. So maybe put that tree in the background. Possibly do that. But the beautiful thing about these is you don't have that awful. Oh, we have the horse. We have the horse. Oh, well, I know what I found. I know what I found. I did do that with 6 colours in there. I did find I'm not going to be working very wet, so I can do that over the top of there. So sorry guys, I want to do the graphy tint for the butterfly, but I have found, I'll pop that on there a second. Right, so put that there. Leave that there for a second. So thank you, Melody. Absolutely love to do this horse painting. And seeing as I have water and I have a brush. Oh, did I take them with me? Did I take them with me? I have an art bag. And Melody says, hi.
Right. So I hope she's feeling all right. I hope she's feeling good.
Thank you, darling. There isn't a set. I haven't seen a set of pencils kicking about, have you? Stupid question that.
No.
Oh, I wonder if I left them on top. Had they? Oh. And I can find every pencil but the one I want. I found the wonderful thing about moving things around your art space. It's a set of pencils and the graphy tint. They're not in a lounge, are they?
What then?
They're just in a sleeve like this, but they're graphy tint. And there's just one side because there's only 24.
Right,
no, I've just been through the whole of that. I wonder if I just slotted them up there safely. It's pink.
Can't see them.
It's a pink sleeve, and they are.
What's that one there? Don't know.
Oh dear, I can't believe that. Never mind. I put them safe because when you're moving things, pencils are the one thing that get damaged. No, I put them somewhere. Oh dear. I bought a set of these and I haven't used them. I think the cat's been on there. Look, that's naughty. So this particular set, I'm not sure what this one's called. It's the same. It's the same kind of things. If you go to BTSKY 160 and 216. You can put them with markers in, and the reason I got this one is the whole flap goes out of the way, and these don't come out, but you can flip it. And again, I love it because they're all in the right order. So I've got the browns, the blacks, and the greys. I've got greens and purples. I've got pinks and yellows. So if I'm just doing a thingy turn, and these are the Derwent watercolor markers, and I haven't had these out for a long time. I'd forgotten all about them. And then the other thing I'd found on my travels, there's going to be a rattle, guys, sorry. I was looking at buying a dish, and this actually isn't the perfect one, but I bought a couple of dishes. Can't get that in. I can't get that in. I bought a couple of dishes. I think this was 50p. And there's a couple of dinner plates, but they're square. But I thought this would be quite nice to use because I've gone off plastic. Oh, hi, Suzanne. Welcome to Funny Designs. Anybody else I missed? So I thought I could use this with this. You can use it for anything if you want, but I just thought I like the idea of using a porcelain or pot. And I wanted a long oblong one, and I was looking at an art one, but they're quite expensive. So this was the dog show. They had some bric-a-brac, so I got 4 of these, and I thought they'd be quite handy. Of course, didn't think that I'd be working on here, which is not ideal. You need a bit of a flat surface, but I think that's going to sit on there quite nicely. And being left-handed, I wanted everything on this side, so that I could do things quite handy. So I haven't had a plate now. I haven't opened these for months. I hope they're okay. And what you do is you just do a little bit, a couple of strokes maybe. You have a thin end and a fat end. Now you can't use these directly onto, you can't use them directly onto a colour page. They go through. If it's one-sided, single-sided, that's fine, but they are very, very strong. They're almost as strong as Inktense, so you can't use them on a color page unless you dilute them. So you could use the number 1 brush, but as soon as I've got my little set here, I might do a watercolor effect onto the horse one there. I'll readjust this and set it so it'll hold it down. Oh, it's my shiny thing that's doing this. So again, you've got to be comfortable. So I've got the brushes handy and the water. I might keep these on my knee. I think I'll keep this on my knee. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask hubby for the cushion tray. So if I move this across, if I do that, it'll be too high. It'll be too high, won't it, for me? Right, so I need to put, I just have a mouthful of coffee, guys. I'm going to put that on there. Actually put the water on there. Now these don't come out, unfortunately. These don't come out of here. So I'll put that there. And just move the laptop. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry. It's taken me so long to get organised. Oh, hi, Suzanne. Bless you. Hope you're feeling a lot better. The boy is behind us. There's your baby boy. Alfie. 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 Hello, darling. Hello. Fancy Smoothie. Oh, he doesn't look very happy. He's woken up wrong side of the bed, hasn't he? Sorry, guys. Don't make you sick. Sorry, guys. Well, that's nice for you. I'm sure he would have said hi if he'd have felt a bit better. Oh my goodness me. I could put those on there and then I can find what I want. I didn't really want to put my bag on the floor, but right, almost organized, guys. Almost organized. So thank you, Melody, for my gorgeous book. Right, so that's where I need to be. I have to think about it. So I switch across a bit. So this is the setup. Again, sometimes you've just got to make shifts, but you have to be comfortable. So I have, very precariously, although there's a lot of heavy things on it, so I know it's not going to move. I've got the dish. In fact, if I just move that handle up, I just piled things back up there, which was very bad of me. If I put that sideways, I've got 2 waters, one for washing and one for clean. I've got the dish to put the colour on, and I've got the brushes there, and then I've got the colours here. Oh, look at that. So I knew I could makeshift this a bit better, but I've left that because basically it's to do the artwork. So I've got colours, I've got something to draw here, and I will ask Kobe to bring me the cushion tray back in a second. And keep the arms down, we don't have a shadow. So I keep, like I did last time, I loved the horse with those colours. Now I could use 6 colours, but they don't have a cerulean blue, I don't think. Yeah, they do cerulean blue, and no, they don't have an ultramarine. That was the problem with this set. They don't have an ultramarine, but they have a dioxide violet. So you can make. I don't know if these are light fast. I can't remember. Oh, they are light fast. They are light fast. So that's quite good. So the French ultramarine, they didn't have, but they do have the dioxide violet. So if you mix that one with this one, 50-50, you get a French ultramarine. So I don't know whether to just do 6 colours, because this one I did 3, and I mixed some beautiful greens, and show how you can do that. Put these upside down for some reason. So we want the lemony yellow, don't we? Lemon yellow, cadmium yellow pale, cadmium yellow hue, and that one's gamboge. And then we want Elysian crimson, which I think is that one. It's quinacridone. So that one's Elysian crimson, and that one is a cad red deep, cad red hue. So what would you like to do, guys? Would you like me to do the 6 colours, and then I can mix all those? Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Hopefully. So if there's any snoring going on, yeah, the only thing I'll warn you about these is if you have a cat, you've got to be a little bit precious with these because it's only plastic. And if you have a pussycat, oh yes, Pamela, I've put off colouring this for a long time. But the first one I think I did with lemon yellow, cerulean blue, and Elysian crimson. And these are your printer colours. So from these 3 colours, you can get every colour going. But to make French ultramarine the purples is a little bit different. So I use French ultramarine because French ultramarine and Elysian crimson gives you the perfect purple. Cadmium red, lemon yellow and cerulean blue gives you the bright greens, and cadmium red and cadmium yellow give you the best oranges. So out of those 6, we've got 6 primaries, 2 of each, and we've got 3 secondaries. And then from those, we can make every tertiary, every other colour on the planet. So if you're paler with watercolours, you want more water. If you want to go darker, you add the complementary colour. No black is required. But if you do mix these 3 colours, lemon yellow, cerulean blue, and Elysian crimson, you'll get black because your printer make a black with these colours. But I prefer to make my own black, so I'll work with 3 colours, I think. I'm going to work with 6 colours, beg your pardon. So, and I have the boxes, but my daughter, it was taking a couple of months off after the stress of her degree. So apologies about the paints. So I've got this new channel, Bunny Designs Fine Art, and I think I'm going to start that one with mixing my own paints and making my 6 colors. So I'll be making my 6 colors. Now to these colors I may do a white, and I may do a burnt umber or a Van Dyke brown, a very dark brown, because I'm a bit of a brown girl. I love browns and aubergines, brown and tan colors and pale colors. And I also like to make my Payne's grey and my greys by mixing a dark nutty burnt umber with French ultramarine to get my greys and my very, very dark greys, my light browns, light blacks. And so I probably will make a brown and a white, because I do like that. I've got about 8 tubes of watercolor paint just in the burnt umber, because I do sepia monochrome drawings with that. I haven't done that for a long time, just with 1 tube of paint and 1 paintbrush, and I quite like that. So I may try to do that, and it's all tonal, which is very good, because if you do a picture and you're not quite sure what's wrong with it, if you photocopy it or take a photograph of it and then make it black and white, you can tell if the tones work. And if it works for the tones, then it is going to work. I've got a shadow, and I don't know why I've got a shadow. Sorry, guys. So so they are coming, but as I say, I didn't realize that she said she wanted to take the summer off. So again, with the Kirby's, even though there are no monsters on this one, it's my favorite page. I think this is the last one in the book, but we had the crease in the middle. So I start with the red mushrooms. Now, my favorite color for mushrooms, strawberries, and a kind of a really nice red rose is half and half Elysian crimson and cadmium red. Now, if I'm going to be really lucky, I might be able to put that on my knee. And I'm going to put these in color order. So there we go. So if I move this up very slightly, right, I think we've almost got it. And I'll move the camera up, guys. I'm really sorry about not being like this. I thought I'm going to start and be more organized, and then we did an extra day at the Abbey because we had and I should have been there yesterday, but I was quite poorly. Right, so sorry about the shadow. So what I'm going to try and do, hopefully you can see. Quick slurp of coffee, guys. Hubby's brought me a lovely cup of coffee. So I get Elysian crimson. I'm going to disregard that bit, although I think that is Elysian crimson, isn't it? Yeah. So just about the size of a dice. That's all. And again, I love that because of these. And then again there. Now, what I should have done with these is put them in my, like you would do traditionally, but it's not done now. So we have quite big spaces, but I don't think they're big enough for this, and I haven't got the sponge on me, so that's annoying. I'm gonna have to just use a bit of kitchen roll. Oh, look what I've got. I've got a baby wet wipe that's not face wipe. So we'll dunk that, squeeze it out. I think I'm just going to put it on there. So all I do is I dunk in water and I draw back, twist to a point, and the baby white takes a lot of that water. No, it's not comfortable to do that. So what I need to do is I need to dunk, twist, and then move, and then I'm not doing this with the elbow. So it's got to be comfortable to dunk, twist, and then I'm ready to go. Now these colors are these colors are slightly, well, they are wet because they've come out wet, so we don't have to worry too much because they will mix lovely together. If we mix these two colors together, that gives us a beautiful color. Now I was going to use as a number 1, maybe just a touch of water, just a touch. Now I don't normally do that, so I think that might be a bit pale, so I'm going to keep that for a flower because I do like my mushrooms quite dark. So say about the size of a dice, and I'm going to use the dough at number 1. I was keeping this for my botanical drawings, but we'll do fine. So a damp brush, and really we don't want any more than that. Twist to a point. Again, guys, I haven't done this for a while, so you'll have to forgive me. And I want a piece of paper, and I don't have a piece of paper. I'll have to use a piece of drawing paper, which will break my heart. Never mind. Always have to have a spare piece of paper so I can just see if that's right or not. So I don't know if I'm going for the, I'm going to put that handy. I don't think I'm going for the, I haven't used these for a long time. Sometimes you just have to have a bit of a play. There we are. Again, it's very warm as well, so things will tend to dry out. So if we start at the bottom and work up. And this number 1 Winsor Newton Sable 7 series is a beautiful brush. And if you like working with nice things, now as much as I love nice things, I could not the new pencils for a colour book because they're light fast. A colour page, unless it's going on the wall, doesn't really need to be light fast. And they're drying out quite quickly, actually. Now, these are very pale colours, these. But again, it's nice and gentle, apart from the fact that I've got a big pot plate hanging on my kneecap. It's just a very gentle way to work. That's coming out. Oh, Suzanne, yes, keep off the dry creamer because it's got stuff that gives you gout. Suzanne, I have the creamers at the art shop, and it's got the dextrose what's in it, and it's not very good for gout because we make strong coffee. So enjoy your gorgeous frothy coffee maker. I have a Bamix machine, and when I went to the Yorkshire show 25, even 30 years ago, I still have my Bamix. I bought a new one, but I still love my Bamix machine. Now that's completely dry, but what I'm going to be naughty and just go over a little bit. So we can scratch if we want, because these come out kind of wet, you don't have to wet them. So you can get some gorgeous tones. Now we could have gone from pink red to yellow. I might have wanted to do that, but I kind of like this. And again, if I wanted the darker, I would put Elysian Crimson. Oh, beg your pardon, I wouldn't. I'd put Burnt Carmine at the bottom. And I made Burnt Carmine by accident the other day. So when I do the oil painting on the other channel, I'll be going through these. So we've got this one, and opposite red is green. So we've got a burnt carmine. Now the green I would normally use would be French ultramarine to make, because the French ultramarine has got red in it. I don't quite like that. And then there's a bit of a shadow there. So I've made a burnt carmine, but it's not quite burnt carmine because it's a bit pinkier. And that's because I should have made it with French ultramarine, but I haven't made my French ultramarine. So normally I would have French ultramarine, but because I haven't, I'm going to make it. So that's the dioxazine purple and cerulean blue. And if we mix them together, probably 25%. There we go. French ultramarine. 25% dioxazine purple and 75 cerulean blue, and you get the most beautiful purple blue. And then we put that with our, might actually go with cadmium. It's a duller green. So we make a duller green, and we want these two again. I'm not taking out a lot. You can scratch out a lot more than I'm doing. Now the beauty of these is they're dried on the palette, and so we've got our red, and we just want a touch of that. So if that was a French ultramarine, or you can put just a touch of purple into it. That's a burnt carmine. That's more of an aubergine burnt. So we can put a little bit in there, a little bit at the bottom. And if we just put a touch of that yellow, very strong, that yellow going over that red. You wouldn't think that would work, but these are very, very strong colours. These Winsor & Newton, very well pigmented. Oh yes, Susanna, I tried. I've been very good. I read everything. Again, I'm going to go through that on the channel. Now that looks a bit orangey, but it isn't orangey. It is cadmium red. Sorry guys, the colours are a bit out today. So I've read in the fridge, I've read in the freezer, I've done all the cupboards. Oh, I should say hubby's done it. I've shown him what to do. So I've got a lovely dark red now. So again, that would look quite nice. So if we look at greens, that's a bit uncomfortable. That turn that way up. Oh, yep. So you've only got me today, guys. So let's have some green. So I've got cadmium yellow twice and lemon yellow twice. Hope they show up. So not very much of them at all. And so we want Elysian, cerulean blue, and cerulean blue. And then we want cerulean blue. Imagine this was, oh, wrong one. Never mind. I won't mix it. Imagine it's too purple. Is that far too purple? I thought it was. It's very strong. Is that alizarin? It's very strong. Very, very strong. You've got to be careful you don't contaminate. There we go. Beautiful French ultramarine there. And that should be the same. That's a cobalt blue. That's French ultramarine. And I'm at an angle and it doesn't like it. Sorry guys, does not like that. And I'll just have to adjust that for a minute. It does not like that. So I need a touch more. I always end up going on blooming colour guide. Sorry guys, there you go. That's a French ultramarine and says that. But they're slightly different. So what I want to do, well, they're not too different, is now mix that into a green. So that's gone an olive colour. This should be a brighter green. Oh, it's not done very well, guys. Sorry. And that should be a brighter green. Did it down too much. I'm a bit rusty. I keep forgetting that they're wet anyway. See, that's the brightest green. That's why you need the cerulean blue and the lemon yellow to get the brightest green. And then that's cerulean blue and cadmium yellow. It's the same blue, but different yellow. So we've got like a grass green, pea green, and then we've got and that's a bit of a grass green. It's my fault, my brush is too wet. I'll just probably try to mix more. There we go, nice deep. And then we have the lemon yellow in that one. The cadmium in that one. It's gone quite olivey, that one, because it's got red in the purple blue, and it's got red in the red yellow, which is cadmium. But the coolest one, the coldest yellow, is the one that's in the printer ink. So you can make all the other yellows warmer, but you can't make them cooler. The same with the cerulean blue. You can make them all warmer, but you can't make them cooler. So that's why you need those two. And the alizarin crimson, you can't make them any pinker, any pinkier red. That's the, apart from quinacridone magenta, which is the one that's in the printer ink. This is the next one, which I prefer, because it's also, because of the names of the natures of the pigments, you can get them light fast, and they kind of act better. Alizarin crimson is quite a new color. It's Victorian, whereas the other ones are the old masters. Cerulean blue actually is a fairly new one. But I do like them. I don't like phthalo. Phthalo was Victorian, not into phthalo at all. But again, I'll be going through all the colours about that. So this particular page, sometimes it's nice to pull out, you've probably got 6 to 10 colours in the 72 Derwent watercolours, the ink 10s, the pastels, Caran d'Ache, all the colours where we have a lot of colours, all the sets. You probably have 6 to 10 greens. and you pull out a pale green, a dark green, a medium green, a turquoise green, and you color with them. But when you use what I call a limited palette, so all my greens are going to be made with these colors. Because if I want a dark green or a shadow, I'm going to put red in my green. So green is yellow and blue. But if I put these two different greens to these two greens, I will get hundreds of other greens. And I made 630 colors by mixing these. Well, I did 3 colors, actually, just 3 colors, and they're connected. So when I finished, the other one I've done, and I'll ask Cubby to bring it out, I used 3 colors, but I have about 100 different greens, and I probably couldn't make those greens again. I mixed them from a yellow, a red, and a blue. I'm now mixing lots of reds and oranges and greens, and we've got some yellows in there, purple, all tertiary colors and primary colors, oranges, but I'm mixing them from 3 primary colors. I still got 3 primary colors. I've got yellows, I've got reds, and I've got blues. And because of that, this page is going to look slightly better because all the colors are connected. And that's why sometimes when you use a limited palette, you could use an orange and a blue and a brown, you get beautiful effects. Even though you have a bright orange and a bright blue, you can also get browns, and if you have a red in there, you have thousands of different colors, but they are connected because they are made from 3 of the same pigments. Hope that makes sense, guys. So it's like my greens. Yeah, I do have the purple, but imagine that the purple is French ultramarine. I make the French ultramarine, I'm using the purple. So instead of adding quite a lot of French ultramarine, I'll just a touch of the purple, because these together in probably 75, 80, 20 will make a beautiful purple blue. And the purple blue mixed with the 2 different yellows are going to give lots and lots of different greens. The same with the blue. The cerulean blue is going to give lots and lots of different colors of pale bright greens, because we can change the yellow, we can put an orange to it, and if we make the yellow orange into green, we're going to get olive colors. So we can do all that with just these 4, 2 blues and 2 yellows. Doesn't make sense, guys, but they will be connected. So I've made that kind of red color, and I've got a bit of yellow in there, but I'm only using these colors. And if you want to make red darker, you just add its complementary color. So if I really quickly do this might make it slightly better. Now you'll have to forgive the purple, because the purple, just have to put that, end up on the floor broken. If I just put, I don't want to mix it together, so they've got that, and then we've got that one, then we've got the yellow, that's cool yellow, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, and then we've got Elysian crimson, and we've got purple. So you have to imagine that this one is so if I can pull a pen out, ha ha ha. I don't want to stay up. My kids have been in this, and you can tell there's Right, so that's a red purple and that's a red orange. So that's an orange, that's a yellow, sorry, that's a yellow orange and a yellow green. Green, I should have put the blue there. That's a green, sorry, a blue green and a blue purple, and then we've got purple. So we've got our secondary colours, and then we've got 2 of each of the primaries. And we need those 2 because if you mix the blue green, the cerulean blue, with the red orange, you'll get brown. You will not get a bright purple. So you have to have those for bright purple. And this is what drives people nuts. If they mix French ultramarine with alizarin crimson, you're never going to get a brown. It's going to be purple. And the same with the oranges. If you do a red purple alizarin crimson with a cold yellow, you get a very dull brown, orange, which is gorgeous, but it's not your brightest orange. For the brightest orange, you need a red orange and a yellow orange color. The same with the green. You've got cerulean blue and you've got lemon yellow, a cold yellow. If you have a purple blue and you have a purple yellow orange, you're going to get a gorgeous green, but you're going to get kind of a forest green, hooker's green, a very dark green. But if you're looking for a grass green, you will never ever get it because you need the 2 colors that are the nearest. So they're the best for those colors, and they're the best for those colors, and they're the best for those colors. So if you have 2 blues, 2 reds and 2 yellows, you can make every color on the planet. I hope you can see that, guys. So I have mixed, and then we go, so then with no blacks, with no browns, and we don't have white, well, watercolor, you just want water to it, so we won't go into that. But darkening the tone, if you have the red, add a touch of green to it and it goes darker. If you have a purple, add a touch of yellow to it, it goes darker. If you have a green, add a touch of orange, it'll go darker. The same with the green. If you have a green, add a touch of red, it'll go darker. If you have a purple, add a touch of yellow, it'll go darker. And the last one is the orange. If you have a orange, a bright orange, an orange actual fruit, and you want a shadow, add a tiny touch of blue, and your orange will go duller and darker, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But the color is connected because it's the same color. You've just added a touch of a complementary to it. So the other thing you can do is you can look in the middle. Just 2 seconds. Oh, that was my little girl. I have to show you this, my little girl. I've got yesterday I did some sketching. That's probably why my hand hurts actually, but I've gone back to my iPad for sketching, but very quickly. There's my little girl. And my little girl. She now has a degree in, I wanted to go work for Disney because she does animation and she does illustration, but she is the old-fashioned girl and she does stop motion. She loves stop motion, and because she's dyslexic, she has a bit of difficulty with computers, but she has the so we did the Elf Master. So I'm going to try and do pet portraits to try and earn some money, because I love all these art products. So I will get to my phone in a second, guys. That's the cross that I was drawing, and there's some creases on the ivory. The beauty, it's got, I don't know if it's going to come up. It's got the chalice and the cross. It's a beautiful room. This is where we do art in the Abbey, and there's just some gorgeous things, but the walls are crumbling because we're 100 and no, we're not. I will get to my look at I've got a reflection of the ceiling in the cross, and I just love the fact there's a bit of stained window. There's all that gorgeous. If you touch it, it flakes. We're 950 years old this year, so we've got lots of celebrations going on, and we need a new roof. So if anybody would like to donate a or two, Selby Abbey website. I have got some lovely photographs of the oh my goodness me, I pick up things and I can't put them down. I have some lovely photographs of the windows to do the paintings. So that's that, and I just have to get the phone and tell it to shut up. Be quiet. It's telling me to take my pills. I haven't had my breakfast yet. Right. So sorry guys, where were we? Oh, my buffering. Sorry guys. Oh, I know why. It doesn't like white. Doesn't like white. Sorry guys. Oh my goodness me, that was not clever, and I've just spent. I could have bought a broken one. Oh, I'm not doing very well, guys, am I? Right. I think I've not even started this, have I, guys? I'm going to stop, guys, because I'm not doing very well and everything's in the wrong place. I'll try and put a video out. If not, I'll do this next week, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm just not. Everything's higgled and piggled and it's driving me nuts. Oh, sorry, guys. I just. Oh dear me. Everything's in the wrong place. And those, and just, oh, they didn't break. Oh, they didn't break. The graphite ones. It's just too messy in here, guys. It's too messy. I am going to do the watercolor things though, because I like that, and I haven't used them for a while. So again, sometimes it's quite nice. So it's been a bit of a messy do today, guys. If I don't get any better at streaming, I'm going to stop the live streams because it's just too bitty, guys. Oh dear, sorry guys. Yeah, because I've only got half an hour and I've not done anything in an hour and 40 minutes apart from waffles. But I hope you got a bit of the colour mixing thing. But I think it's going to do it again because it doesn't like white, and I always forget. And that's just a bit too uncomfortable. I forgot to ask him for the cushion tray again. But as I say, sometimes you've got to think of these things. But I think at the end, all these are going to, all these colours are going to mix, and they're going to look, the page is going to look a lot better because I've used it from a small limited palette. Yeah, yes, Suzanne, I'm discombobulated. Or as the thing is, he's gruntled. He's not disgruntled. We haven't got a Kenny joke in, have we, today? How many things have we got? I thought there was a lot of mushrooms. I've only got. I can only see one mushroom. Oh, they're just up there, aren't they? And again, when you look at your palette, even though I've been messing about, I've got an olive green, so I usually do this one an olive because it reminds me of an oak leaf. I've got some red. I wonder if I can move the camera. No, I don't think that thing's plugged in. So this is actually probably it's really messy. This, you should start with yellow and go to. I should have gone right round, and I've just messed about with it. And again, that's probably why, because I haven't done it in my normal way, it's thrown me a bit. And again, that's why you have to be comfortable, and you have to get things where you know where they are. And holding this plate is not brilliant, but it's just, you have to get organized, and you have to get comfortable and have a little bit of an idea. Now, it's lovely to get your colors right and your paintbrushes and get everything right, and then you can mess about with colors. But when I want to do something like this, is my favorite paint, I don't want to mess about, I want to do it well. And I think I know that I might just mess it up a bit, although I do like that olive color for these particular ones here. And again, the olive is a normal green. Dark greens make dark olives, light greens make light olives. So if you mix, I just know that's going to end up on the floor. If you mix the two darker ones, you're going to get a dark one, a dark green. You will get a really nice, rich, dark olive. If you mix the lightest ones, you got a pea green or a grass green, very pale green. That will give you a brighter olive, a lighter olive color. So having these 4 colors here, we've initially got 6 greens, because we can swap these. So we've got 1 and 1 and 2, that's 2. Then we've got 3 and we've got 4. So we've got 4 greens from these 2 colors. But if we mix orange with the 4 colors, the 4 greens, we've got 8 olives. And then if we mix those 8 olives with the original 4 greens, we're taking them back to green. We've got another 8 greens, but they're not quite olive and they're not quite bright. So we can end up with 50 greens quite easily without doing very much. And the same with the purples and the oranges. And the purples, you get the carmines, you get the dark carmines, you get the aubergines, you get the violets, you get the pale purples and the dark purples, and then you get the bright purples and the dull purples. The same with the oranges, you get brick reds, you get oranges, you get russet. Oh, hi girls. Hi, Frankie. Now, Frankie doesn't like me because I fell on her. Frankie! Frankie! What's this? Frankie Doodles! She came to see me. I was going to say hi, Suzanne, but I came home one night, and I put my leg out and I went over and I caught her as she was going past, and she bit me. And because I shouted at her, she doesn't she doesn't like me. And I'm quite stern that if a dog does, I start, come on, and it's do as you're told, because that's how I trained Alsatians. But she's from Romania, and she's been very badly treated and beaten and everything else. And she doesn't like me because I have a walking stick. So we weren't on the best of terms, although I did try really hard with her, and I sat and twiddled her ears because I fell on her. And then she was in the doghouse for a while. I wouldn't speak to her because I thought, I can't shout at her, but I don't want to speak to her. We're kind of not the best of friends, but she's not my dog. So I've taken a step back. But yeah, she did get me on the ankle. But never mind. I don't know why I was talking about that. Oh, because I wanted her to say hi. But she's been, before she bit me, she used to come to the streams and say hi. So if you want to see her, she's on of the few earlier ones. But, since we had that do last week, I kind of, I went off her a bit. And I've never been frightened of a dog, ever. and I don't trust her. So that's very unusual for me because I've had everything. Oh, Pamela, I hope you've got it all right now. I won't send this video out because it's just me waffling, but I can waffle for about another 20 minutes. So back to colours. It's difficult that that's not having that on it, but so I do like making the colours from that. So the same with the blues and the blue greens. We've done the blue greens, haven't we? So the oranges are the same. By mixing the two different yellows and the two different reds, we are going to get an orange, but we're going to get burnt russets and burnt oranges and all the really dark oranges and some tans. They'll come from mixing those, so we can end up with about 20 or 30 oranges. Okay, Susan, welcome back. It's so good to have you back. And the purples again. So even though, and then we can take the greens, because we have these two yellows and these two blues, we can take the greens. So there's a Chinese green here, which will just be a spot of that and a lot of the yellow green, but we can take that down to its darkest blue green. So again, we've got at least 30 greens here, and then this blue will go to these purples, and to dull them we'll use this one or this one. Again, we've got the browns, so we need a blue and we need a dull blue, a dark blue, and a red, but we don't want any pink in it because we'll get aubergines colors, we'll get dark purples, and we don't want dark purples. We want to stick on this side, the orange side. So with red orange is going to make a really nice dark brown. What else have we got? And the reds with the purples. So we've got all the pink reds, the pink purples, and we've got the blue purples. So a very pale blue purple is a periwinkle, or a violet is a dark purple, but it can be a light purple as well. But there's one of a lilac. A lilac is a pale pink one. So we can go through the colors that way, and then we can go through tonal ones. So adding white or adding the complementary color. So when we do the oil painting with my daughter, now she wants to do oil painting first, and then she wants to do the color mixing for a different painting she wants to do. And I'm kind of against that because I want her to go through the color work first. Because although she says she knows what she wants to do, when you're doing something and you've got this information in your head, you might change your mind because you've thought of a better color. If you haven't done the color mixing first or the color theory, you won't. So like putting complementary colors together are quite abrasive, it's quite kind of in your face. Whereas you put colors that are next to each other, they're more harmonious. So then you've got your contrasting colors and your harmonious colors. So do you want a harmonious horse painting, relaxing and chilling, or do you want kind of like, wow, that's bright? So there's that to consider, and you might change your mind halfway through. But sometimes even the bright colors, when I do the birds in the phthalo blues and the phthalo greens, they are next to each other on the color wheel. So even though they are very bright, they still work well. So there's also that kind of color theory as well. So I think that's where I need to go with this. But again, I've got a little bit of yet. You can't see the yellow on there. I don't think it'll be. It's quite red and dark. There's a tiny touch of yellow on there. And then the other thing with colour is you can go darker if you're going in a shadow, or you can do a highlight. But we'll be doing that with oils. On the original picture, I did 3 colours. I did the printer paper colours, and they're with the Cotman watercolours. And I think I still have the palette. And I just had 3 colours of the watercolours. And at Hobbycraft, I think it's about 3-4 years ago now, they were 99p. So I got 3 colours for £2.97. That was quick for me. And that's why the purple, I did the caterpillar and I did the bug. I think there's I think that one. And they're kind of dull purples. They're aubergines. And that's because I didn't have a bright purpley blue. And I'm sorry to be in purple, and you've got to imagine that that's French ultramarine. So the next one I did was the balloons. I think it was the balloons. I'll get them. And that one had all the colours in it. Just bear with me a second, guys. Just put that on there. I'll just go get it, because they all the colour books. They're not far away. And I just can't turn around. I wish I knew what I did with those pencils. I don't mean saying that. Difficult to walk today. So I've cut the room in half with the Billy bookcases. I think I'll do it's more difficult than I thought. Right. I have 1 or 2 Kirby books. Just 1 or 2. Because they're now a little bit cheaper, I bought the other ones. So this is the horse one. I think that was the horse one. Yeah. So I think Imagine More. Oh dear. Hands do not work today, guys, at all. I think that's the other reason why I'm finding it difficult today. So that was the horse picture. I'll get there in the end. And if you see the wings here, they're quite dull. And that's because I only had 3 colours. But I love them. I mean, and I did the watercolour effect, and I actually forgotten how I did that. But all those colours are made from, I mean, look at all the oranges I've got. But all I had was lemon yellow and cadmium and alizarin crimson. But I managed to get all those colours. And the greens as well, some beautiful dark greens and blues. And all those greens are made from 2 colours, one yellow and one blue. And they're the printer inks. So that's what I said. If you want to do some colour mixing, again, I might do that one because it's cheap. Oh, I'm trying to keep straight. That was with the Cotman watercolours, with the 3 colours. But I did what I normally do. I got the palette. The palette isn't far away, actually. I just don't think I've put my hand on it. I mixed. It was the palette with. The black. Just put that red one down. I can't find it now. This may show up, hopefully. So we had a palette. I think 2, 4, 6. I think it had 6 in it. It had 2, 4, 6. I think it's got 8 in it. And then it's one of the cheap plastic ones. So I started with Elysian Crimson, which is a red purple. I had a cadmium red, which is a red orange. I had a cad yellow, which is a yellow orange. I had a lemon yellow, which is a yellow green. I had cerulean blue, which is a blue green, and I had French ultramarine, which is a blue purple. So those were my 6 colours. Oh, sorry, Suzanne. Sorry to hear that, darling. Hope you feel better. So can we see that? Okay. I cannot believe I cannot put my hand. So we've got, oops, a red purple, a red orange, a yellow orange, a yellow green, a blue green, a blue purple. So I mixed Elysian Crimson with French ultramarine and I got a purple. I mixed cadmium orange and cadmium red and I got an orange. I mixed lemon yellow and cerulean blue and I got a green. And then, oh, sorry, that's a purple, that's an orange, and that's a green. But I don't know how many greens are in here because I mixed the green and then I had a green here, so I took a bit of green here and I put a bit of that blue with it. And then I put a little bit of red to it, and he ended up all over here with lots of different greens. And then all the blue greens were under here, and then all the purples were bright to dark, all the red oranges, the cadmium orange. So if we look here, that's a gamboge. So between here, we've got gamboge, then we've got tangerine, and then we could have, there's another yellow orange, then we've got orange, and then we've got next to red, cadmium red here. So the furthest red you can get before it's an orange is a vermilion. So I had vermilion red, and what else is in there? The scarlets are here. So red oranges and red purples. There's scarlet, there's the scarlet lakes, all the lakes are reddy purples. And then we've got the purples. Now the purples weren't brilliant because my ultramarine that I made wasn't brilliant. Sorry, this is the one I'm doing now. The one I did before, beg your pardon, the one I did before sorry guys, the one I did for this one is Elysian Crimson, a lemon yellow, cerulean blue, sorry guys, so this is what I did for this page. I'm not sure if there's a video, but I'm going to be doing it again, and I'm going to be using paints, but I'm also going to be using, to start with, I'm going to try and get 1,000 colors. I got 630, so I'm going to get 1,000 colors from 3. So we don't have a cadmium orange, sorry, beg your pardon, we don't have a cadmium red. So what I need to do is I need to make Elysian Crimson and a lemon yellow, and I need to make an orange, and then I make a bit of orange and Elysian Crimson, and I get a cadmium red. Now it's not the original pigment cadmium red, it's a color that resembles cadmium red, like that one. That's cadmium red, that's Elysian Crimson. So I haven't got a cadmium yellow, so I mix a little bit of orange and a little bit of lemon yellow, and I get a cadmium yellow. I don't have a green, so I'm going to mix the lemon yellow and the cerulean blue, and I'm going to get the brightest green. I don't have a purple blue, a French ultramarine, so I mix cerulean blue and I mix Elysian Crimson and I make a purple, and then I mix purple and cerulean blue and I make an ultramarine, which is a blue purple. So that's what I did for this colors. So from 1, 2, 3, I've made 8. I think 2, 4, 6, I've made 9. So we've got 6 primaries and we've got 3 secondaries, and that's how I made all these colors. So then I would put, I've got my bright green, so then I'd put a little bit of French ultramarine and make that slightly darker. So if we look on here, the brightest greens, this, so this is probably a pale, add yellow to it to make it brighter, add a little bit of the purple to make this color, add orange, yellow to purple, to the purple blue green to make this dark green color here. So my purples were very dull. As you can see, I've got a red purple and a pink purple, but they're quite dull, and that's because I didn't get the French ultramarine color. And that's why the second time I did this, I bought 6 colors, because in order to get, I mean, you get some beautiful dark purples, really beautiful dull purples, but you can't get that lovely bright dioxidine purple, French ultramarine, unless you have a purple blue, because you need a purple blue and a red purple to get the brightest purple. So of course I had this, so it wasn't quite as purple because there's no blue in this, there's no red in this one, but there's red in this one because I've used red to make it, but it wasn't bright enough. But I still love this page because they're made from 3 colors. So then I've got the cerulean blue here, and I'd add a touch of let's have a look. That's the purples I made, and I said they really are dull. I do have, but I don't think they're handy. They were in these drawers. I will fish that out when I do the comparison, because I have the exact same palette, because it's a watercolor and it dried. And then I said, well, I like that, but the purples were dull. Let's buy a purple. It's in here, but I don't know which one it is. That's it. So I went to the shop and I decided to buy 6 professional tubes, and these are the ones that are missing. They are big tubes of paint and they are missing, and I can't afford to replace them. So I bought the Diddy ones, a cadmium red this time. So this time I bought a cadmium red, I bought Elysian crimson, cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, French ultramarine and cerulean blue. And I made all these greens from those 6 colors. So again, the 2 yellows and the 2 greens gave us a lot brighter colors. The cadmium red had some good oranges, and the cerulean blue, of course, I've got French ultramarine there. It's a purple blue. So I've got the bright purple blues. So I can make, I don't think I made a purple for some reason. I don't think I made a purple. That looks like just French ultramarine. But I did make the purple, but I don't think I used it. I still love that page though, but it's made with the 6 colors. So you only ever need 6 colors. And from those 6 colors, you can make every color on the planet. And that's why I've got the colors to bring out. As I say, if I make them in oils, I might bring out a white and a brown. But I mean, I've got some brown here. I've got beautiful browns here. I've got a grey brown. I've got a darker brown. All these browns and tan colors, they were made with the 6 colors only. No browns, just the 6 colors. But the cadmium red, the orange red, gave the browns I could make a bit warmer. So that's why, although I do love this page with its really limited palette of 3, sorry, my shadow is in the way, and I love that, this one, oh, Suzanne says the bunnies are the favorite page. Yeah, I like the bunnies, and the reason I like it is, oh, obviously there's no little silly creatures, but there's some little bunnies, but there's no the horrible aliens kicking about. I bet there are somewhere. I don't do the aliens. And then I think I started the panda one. So that's the palette, and watered down because I didn't make too much because Tight Yorkshire Lass. I think this one is made with the same. I think so. But this one was my first attempt with 6 colors. Not particularly first attempt ever doing it, but doing it with the watercolors, because I've always painted with 6 colors since I was 16 when we were taught. Again, here, look, there's some beautiful taupe colors, tans, straw colors, all made from the bright colors, these 6 bright colors. But you can do that by dulling them down, adding complementary colors. I mean, I've got more than 6 greens here. I've got some beautiful light greens, almost a Chinese green, very pale. That's a cadmium yellow, I think. Didn't often use them bare colors though. That looks like the green I've made in the between, so that's the bright green. Then dulled it down with complementary colors. But it's a limited palette because there's only 6 colors. There's only 3 colors. But as I say, if you want that lovely purple blues, the beautiful purples, then you do need that French ultramarine. This is the grunge, which I was very tempted to. I haven't done the butterfly in this one. I think the butterfly's in this one. Yeah, I've attempted the butterfly. So that's the neos. And the neos are when I took complementary colors. There's a couple of videos. So I will take, I think I got 2 greens and 2 reds, 2 purples, 2 yellows, 2 oranges, 2 greens and 2 blues. So I had a little bit of a difference. I could do the purple with the cadmium yellow, but I could do the purple with the different yellow, and there's a difference in those two. That's warmer, that's cooler. The same with the pink. I had Elysian crimson and a cadmium red. I looked like I had a grass green and a darker green, so I could mix and match the colors. On the first one, was it Metal Mickey here somewhere? This was the first attempt. Again, I was doing that with that one. I think the first attempt was Metal Mickey, and I think Metal Mickey's in here, yeah. So these are the 2 colors I hated. So I decided I was going to make some grungy grays, and actually that is like graphitint, but it isn't. They are colors I have made by adding complementary colors and then watering them down. And I actually never thought I would color these because I didn't like those. Oh, hi, Darla. Welcome back. Anybody else popping in? So I decided, well, actually, I kind of like this page. So this was the first page, and I think there's a video on this. And I took just 3 colors. So again, it's got a limited palette, but it looks good. No, there's a different green in there. And then I decided to add a red and an orange together to get grunge. So they're not all complementary colors, but I love these colors. And that's when all the metal things in this book I decided I'd like to do like that. And this was there's a bit of a sheen on that. They're the Derwent metallics, but they're not the new metallics. I was going to buy the new metallics from Derwent, but they're not water soluble, so there's not much point in me doing it. But there's 12 in the set, and absolutely love how they work. Again, that's the grungy. That's watercolors. I think there's a video on that one. This one, I quite like this one. This is my and the pencils, you can mix half a dozen colors. There's 16 different colors in there, and then I just mix them all together and blended them on the page with a brush. That's Inktense, and that's Derwent watercolors. And that's what I was saying about the watercolors. Yes, they're a bit darker, but these are not too much behind. You can get the Derwent watercolor pencils. So if I could only have one thing, it would be the Derwent watercolor pencils. So I have actually started that one with the Neos in grungy I've put. So I might finish that one. That was Neos in grungy as well. And the elephants Neos in grungy. So I have to say, I have not finished a book. I think that one was the set of 24. I think I sent you those, Melody, that set of 24 Cotman ones. Lovely set, easy to use, and the colors are there, and there's 24, and a lot of those are kind of traditional, but again, I've used them, I think I've used them almost straight. I can't remember what that one is. It looks like I've put pastel pencils. So I've put pastel on, and they look like I've blended them, and then I've blended them, and then I've set them in water. So again, I do like pastels. I can't remember what I did that one with. It looks like some kind of watercolor. And I do forget what I'm doing. This is Hydrus. So sometimes I do like the bright colors. So we've got it's a green and a turquoise, but it's not showing up very well. It's a very bright turquoise green and a bright turquoise blue. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Again, I thought of the graphy tint for this one because it's greys, but I do like the graphy tint. I love that. Started it and I've got a clue what I used. I've not got a clue what I've used. So just bear with me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. Oh, hi, Sarah. Welcome to Bunny Designs. So I'm going to have to cut short a bit today. I probably won't put this video up, but I will make notes about what I've talked about and redo. So, because it's been a couple of hours of waffle. So that's why I'm obsessed with my 6 colours, and they are taking their time coming, but they will be coming out. So I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I haven't actually finished a colour book. I think I could possibly work on this one, but I say I start something and then I forget what I've done. But one thing you couldn't do with these beautiful colours, you couldn't just touch this. Well, you could, but it will go through. You could touch this and then they'll be very bright. But I could do that on the Kirby that we've got single page, or even on one of these, because they don't. I don't think I've even started on the Geo one, have I? These are single-sided. Oh yes, I could do that because they're single-sided, but I'd have to take it out or put a piece of card between. Oh, grey elephant. Wow. That's another one. That would be nice in the graphy tint as well. So I'm going to have to find the graphy tint, guys. I thought it was. I haven't got a clue what I've done with them. As soon as I turn the camera off, they will appear. So I better put a bit of a sticky note of what I've been doing. I think I'll remember. But again, I forget things, so I want everything out so I know what I'm using. But these are professional watercolors, so they're not going to be wasted in a color book, or they're not going to be wasted because I'm not doing as many color books. That's what I was trying to say. So I am going to try and keep Thursdays for the coloring books because I've got a lot to wade my way through. But I'm hopefully going to do some more videos for the other channels. And I'm getting a bit poorly for the Abbey, so I may have to stop going to the Abbey. We'll have to see, because it's just it's getting busier now, and I just can't stand for long. I just can't do it. I've also got inks and all sorts in here, so it's going. I've just put my hand on all the pencils now. I knew I would do that. So I'll go through the colours and again another time. I'll leave it on there. If I leave that on there and I say Windsor and Newton watercolour markers, horse page. That might remind me. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. Happy Yorkshire Day. It's Yorkshire Day, and I've been summoned. I promised I'd go. We're also in England, all over the country, having cake and coffee mornings to raise awareness and raise money for cancer treatment. So it's also Yorkshire Day as well. So I think I'm going to go back to making more videos as well, because I cut out every dog bark, and he's not here. And I used to cut the first videos I ever did. It used to take me about 8 hours, maybe 9 hours to edit. Every cough was edited out, and so I need to redo some more of those, I think, and the quicker ones. The iPad's quite good for that. I am doing some more drawings on the iPad because the is a bit poorly as well. But hopefully I can still keep this channel going. I'm finding it more and more difficult, but we'll see what happens. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. Happy Yorkshire Day and happy cake making day. I hope everybody makes lots of pennies. So have a wonderful afternoon. Oh, hi Kenny, sorry I missed you. So I've been summoned because hubby's going away, so if I don't go now I'll be trapped. And I did promise, I don't want to put these away now, I want to play with them now I've got them out. And it's getting very warm in here again. So thanks, guys. Have a grand day, and hopefully we'll be able to carry on with the horse page. Oh, bye, Sarah. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Have a grand day. Thanks for stopping by.